Hey everybody, Kearon here with Explorminate, and welcome to a little bit of a preview. We're going to call this not really a Let's Try, this is just preview hands-on with the Vaulters DLC for Endless Space 2. The folks at Amplitude were kind enough to get us some copies of some keys early, so grateful to them for that. And I wanted to just put together a video of me showcasing a few of the standout points of the Vaulters and a little bit of in-game, demonstrating the portals, colonization, among a few other things. And this is not going to be like exhaustive by any means. I'm not going to cover everything with the lore crossovers. The exotic modules haven't really got far enough in my games to really utilize those or other things, but we're going to mainly focus on the Vaulters and then kind of how Pirates work, since they seem to be the main big addition to this DLC in terms of gameplay. That's going to affect everyone, not just the new race. So here we are, excited to share this with you. Um, Without any further ado, here's the Vaulters. Let's see some in-game footage. Alright, well, so let's show off some gameplay here. And again, keep in mind this is a quick summary, bullet point type version of let's show off the Vaulters in real time. This is not going to be like a let's play, so if there's anything you don't want to have spoiled, you want to experience yourself firsthand, be forewarned. But I imagine if you're here, you're like, hey, let's see how these guys actually play. So let me start with the screen for the vaulters themselves. A few things that are important. They do start with, here we are, oh yep, Sisters of Mercy. So Sisters of Mercy jump on the big spaceship with the vaulters, and they are the new minor faction. They do add a few, well, they're better at damage at attackers at ground battles, which is kind of interesting. If we, here, let's pan into a system real quick that has some vaulters. Same thing as the vaulters. So both the vaulters and the Sisters of Mercy who come along with them are going to give you a little bit of a bonus to attackers during ground battles, which is interesting. It does focus them towards a more defensive approach, which is one of the, I guess, descriptions. If you look at the Steam page that Amplitude puts up, they tried and it seems to design the vaulters more as a defensive race. Now you get the one science. The Sisters of Mercy give the +2 approval. Not like the craziest bonus, I think. I would take something like these guys, for example, the money and the production, but that's what they are. Now, the first thing that really differentiates the Vaulters from anybody else is going to be the Argosy. And let's just pop you up here. While we are playing, we're going to colonize something, and I'm going to show you how this works. So right now, this world was colonized a little bit ago, and it is currently under the effects of a golden age. Now we're going to colonize here. Boop. Notice the golden age for 9 turns. So for 9 turns, it has a golden age. Now what is that golden age exactly, you might ask? It is a bonus because people are just really happy to get off the ship. They've almost died so many times back home. They've been asleep forever. They're like, let's wake up. Let's do something with our lives. Let's go to a planet, right? So is this going to not render for me? There we are. So Golden Age just simply is a bonus, as you can see, to basically every output. Influence, approval, whatever. Um, and that gives you a little kick in the pants to get going. And you might also notice that, wait a second, this is not an outpost. Like, this is a full-blown colony. That's right, the Vultures skipped the whole outpost in between stage, which I think works for the other races, but that is one way that helps these guys stand out. It also offsets the fact that the Argosy has to recover for 4 turns, and then after that I would have to pay thousands of dollars and a hefty amount of the resources, which don't matter as much at this point in the game, but to colonize. So it is your only unit you use to colonize. It's essentially free if you wait enough turns. I forget, is it like 12 or 15 essentially? It's like a decent number of turns, but I didn't feel handicapped at the beginning. And again, you can spend the little extra each turn. The cost to early colonize is reduced. So, a couple turns early might just be 2,000 dust or something like that. And early game, that might be worth it. You do get that instant colony, so I think you could potentially snipe a system from someone if you wanted, because you don't have to go through the whole outpost stage. So I like that because again, I hate settlers and I hate balancing colony ships and settler units and all that jazz. So really cool way that they stand out. Um, and that bonus is nice. You just get everything off and running a little quicker. You have that direct positive feed into your empire. You notice a lot quicker since you don't have that build up period. Now, probably my favorite thing about the Vaulters, if you can remember back to Endless Legend, they had the holy resource to teleport ability. I don't remember what it was called, but you could literally teleport between cities. Well, the Vaulters still have held on to that idea. They still like that, thankfully, and so you can build something called a portal right here. I couldn't. I was seeing where it was. So by default, you can get some manpower, some science, and then you can augment this with text. Let me see if I can find a few portal texts real quickly here. I thought some were easier to find than that. Oh, come on. I know they're around here. Oh, yeah, okay, I've already researched it. So here's one. Portal upgrade manpower, so plus 20 per turn on systems where the portal is present. So I believe by default it's 10. You get plus 20 on that, so that's kind of nice. There is one up here, I thought. No? Hmm. Anyhow, so there are a few abilities that are going to augment the portal, which is nice. But it's doesn't really need augmenting because it can go and do really cool things. So see this guy right here, we're going to select him and we're going to say I want to get all the way over here for whatever reason. There's a portal in this system. Let's go. Let's go. Can you do it? Is he going to make the jump? Yep, he made the jump. We missed it. It's just like a boop, he teleports over, bops. Let me try to show one other where that's actually going to render on screen here. What do we got? Take you. And let's portal jump you just right up here. So let's say I need to reinforce up here. Watch him go. That's pretty cool. Now I haven't played on like the biggest map with this yet and expanded it out, but from what I can see, even if there's a limit to how far you can go in a turn, that is a huge area. If we were to do something like that similar with this guy and say go here, oh, that's going to throw it off with the portal, isn't it? They have a closed border treaty. Well, this was like 2.5 turns, so you can kind of estimate the map. I don't know, that'd be 15, 20 turns maybe if we were flying on star lanes over here. That's really cool, and that helps them be defensive because you can build your empire and you can expand and you can fight those two front wars a little better even if you get attacked or jumped. So I was fighting a war here. We've since made a truce, and right at the end the Cravers decided to show up. So rather than be like, oh crap, my big victory fleet here, 24 power strong, it would take a long time to fly over, and by that point the Cravers probably would take a world or two and get closer to my homeworld than I want them to. Well, it's just I, from pirates, teleport to the home system, and fly down. It was like 3 turns. Quite nice, and I was glad that the pirates had a portal there that I could kind of jump on. And I have those scattered a few places around my empire, you can see. I haven't built a lot of them. I probably could afford it. I'm doing fine with dust, it seems like. But that is just the coolest thing. Again, I think that feeds into them being defensive. You could use that offensively to some degree. Like I could jump my fleet all the way here and get them on the back end. I'm not exactly sure why every pirate system seems to have a portal, but it does provide a nice attack that normally you might have the frontier and then, oh, hey, I'm just going to go back and loot your homeworld or whatnot. So that's been fun to play around with. I look forward to getting used to that a little bit more and honestly, I'm sure players much better than I at Endless Space 2 will have all kinds of fun tips and tricks with that. I haven't even crossed my mind, honestly. Now, so we covered the ship, the Argosy, excuse me, the colonizing ship, how colonization works, kind of the minor faction you start with, portals. I also wanted to jump in and show off some of their ships real quick here. We're gonna try to do a battle, but this is their carrier. Very neat looking ships. I love the aesthetic. I mean, I don't think there's many ships in Endless Space 2 that I'm like, man, that thing's just hideous, but this almost reminds me of like a Vikings longboat, right? I don't think I'm the only one, or maybe like a Roman, was it Tereme? Their ships that have the oars on the side, the oarsmen they'd have underneath and whatnot. Yep, let's cancel that. So I like the harken that the ships are seem like they kind of tie back into actual historical ships because that's kind of where the Vultures came from. I mean, yes, this takes place many years after the events of Endless Legend, but in their minds they've been asleep, so it's really not forever ago. Uh, the story does feature, I think it's worth mentioning, Zolia, um, the main hero from Endless Legend, as well as Opbot. No big spoilers here, but Opbot is a character. I'm on, um, I think, part 3. Yeah, chapter 3 here. Trying to get Opbot here. And he is going to be a counselor scientist type, which feeds in with another thing that Amplitude has pointed out, again in the Steam description. And I think I go along with this. Your Vaulter heroes make better governors than admirals, which I think is interesting. You're focused inward on the whole empire building. I'm excited to see what Opbot is. He's going to be like my favorite. My favorite. I'm putting him on my home world. We just gotta pick him up. Gotta rescue him actually, but we'll leave the quest alone for now. I don't want to spoil that for anyone at this point. Uh, and I think that's a pretty good summation of Vaulters. Maybe not all inclusive, but those are some of the things that stuck out to me. I can't really think of anything else I'm leaving out, honestly. There might be one or two minor things, but those are what stuck out to me as like, sweet, this is how the Vultures play different. Give you an idea of what that is. So, hopefully that gives you a little taste, a little sneak peek of how they actually play moment to moment and such. There is I do also want to mention, and hopefully this doesn't get too spoilery in terms of quests. Where have we got? We're not going to pull it up maybe. Done a lot. Well, maybe we're not going to grab that. There is a quest line where they go back to Argia, and there's some quests that go on with that, which is really cool, I think. Uh, I have it colonized here right now. Not very much. We're working on that, but I I was hoping there'd be a little bit of payoff, a little bit of connection. If you missed my little lore tie-in video, there's definitely some of that here. So if you're looking on that, a little bit of the story, it seems like Amplitude has not dropped the ball. At least I'd say initially. I think for everyone there might maybe want more or less of a payoff or care more or less about that. But again, from what I've seen so far, I'm like, sweet. It's good to see that you can go explore that past a little bit more and I'm excited to get through the story. But enough with that. I want to show off a battle for battle's sake because people like explosions. I like explosions. I want to show off pirates and then I think we'll wrap it up. All right. Well, as I mentioned here, pirates are definitely part of this expansion. So what we have, well, what the pirates are, the way Amplitude typically does their expansions, they release a race, it seems like, and then add a feature. So that manifests itself in lots of different ways. One of them, my favorites in this legend, was oceans and ocean fortresses. Fortresses. Another was winter and the revamping with the whole pearl system. So we've started off with pirates, and I think that they needed a revamp because, and this may have been addressed in some patches, but again, I haven't played a lot of this since release. They would just like spawn out of nowhere, and they were just like, they were everywhere. They're like bunnies, except bunnies with guns that would come in and kill you. So this is the pirate diplomacy screen. You can see you can jump anywhere. Pirates going to be just about anywhere. They do seem to be unified for me. You can count the power level of the pirates. You can see their next fleet and kind of how much firepower they're going to have. And then here's your options. So I bought them off early game, spent a lot of money, so we're cordial as pirates can be. Um, so they're going to be a little less likely to attack me, meaning I don't see them attacking me since I bought them off. You can sabotage them so their fleet is weaker. You can spend political capital, which I honestly don't know why you would do this. Dust comes a lot easier than influence, and I feel like you could just buy them off. I guess I haven't. The only thing I can think, because I've only played a bit with about 2 different games here with expansion, perhaps it's more of a tug of war as you buy the favor of the pirates, but I don't think so because I feel like the Horatio, at least in this playthrough, are pretty economic powerhouses. At least they seem to be. You can buy a pirate's mark, which we'll do that real quick. Let's buy a mark, shall we? And we're going to mark a target. We're going to mark this system. So that means they're marked for target. They're going to get attacked. And that's basically that. So the pirate attack's another thing that's a little sad. While they were super annoying and powerful before, I feel like they've swung the other way where they're just not that great. I think maybe I need to turn them up in terms of the difficulty. Thankfully, Amplitude gives you that option, but at least at the default ratings, they look mean, they look pretty cool, but they don't seem to do much. I buy marks pretty frequently, and it's just like, I don't actually think they're doing much. You can't cancel the non-aggression pact. You will be able to attack. They will attack you. Relations reset. So there's some good options here. Again, I think turning pirates up might be good if you want to have more of an impact with them, at least from my experience, because I'm playing on normal here, guys. I'm no MVP. I wanted to get a taste of this, and they're kind of lackluster. So cranking them up in difficulty perhaps would be a way to address that. If not, I hope that Amplitude balances them a little bit stronger to terms of if you've played Sins of a Solar Empire. I loved how pirates were in that game. You'd buy them off as a little bit of a bidding war, and they were like potent enough they'd come through if you didn't have a system defended or a fleet there. Like you were gonna lose some infrastructure, and I would like to see that a little more. And again, maybe I haven't played enough. It's hard to say with the number of hours I've put into this since we were given the preview key from Amplitude. But my gut reaction right now, if I had to call it, I'd say, well, Pirates are a little weak. Hope they get buffed. But more on that, I'm sure, with our review. That's just kind of my initial impressions. But the interaction and stuff, I am glad to see that's been revamped, and they're pretty like plentiful. There's 5 systems we count. They're spread out pretty good. So that's what we got with Pirates, and that's the main gameplay feature we got added here. So there you have it, Arg matey, right? And there we have it, guys. Kind of wrap it up. I know I said I was going to do some combat. I didn't really have any great footage of that, so I was like, I'm not going to waste your time with like a 24-on-2 battle. We all know how that's going to end. Anyways, thank you for watching this. Hopefully this got you a little excited for the DLC. Stay tuned. We will be having a full-blown review. This was by no means was trying to supplement review. I know when we do those, they get in depth, and we try to really break it out. This is just kind of to show you, throw it out there if you're on the fence for the DLC or not. I mean, it is about like $10, so if a new race is worth it for you, I feel like the Amplitude usually keeps their expansions pretty reasonable. But that's a call you got to make. So if that's worth it, great. If not, there's always Steam sales. So, but overall, I've had a lot of fun with them. I'm gonna try to do some Let's Play videos showcasing the first beginning, I don't know, maybe hour of the game, and I'll have those coming up shortly. So stay tuned for those. But this again I just thought this would be the most useful for you guys. Let me know what you think of this format for like future preview coverage and stuff, because there's going to be a lot of Let's Plays out there. I tried to take it from more of a, hey, let's analyze this and give you some of my take on this. as you're going to play the game. You're going to have your very own Let's Play going here very soon, I assume, if you're watching this. But as always, appreciate you watching. Thank you, and until next time, thanks.